This presentation has been prepared and delivered using Wiki-to-Speech. Wiki-to-Speech is an alternative to the Moodle lesson module. So this presentation will review that module, discuss question formats and show how to make a Wiki-to-Speech lesson. But first consider why we should bother. First, 400 million people use Wikipedia every month because the editors collaborate on wiki pages. With Wiki-to-Speech, you have lesson scripts on wiki pages. The result is collaborative lessons. Second, the computers talk. How cool is this? Speech works especially well on mobile devices. Third, Wiki-to-Speech can offer augmented intelligence for free to everyone. More on that later. We compare this to a Moodle lesson next. This is a Moodle lesson on the Moodle lesson module. You'll get a screen full of text, a sidebar with links, maybe a graphic and some buttons. This part of the lesson is a presentation. Like any presentation, it should have as few words as possible. The only words which stand out here are good luck. The rest are safely ignored. Here the lesson asks a question. To answer it, you have to click twice. Why? Perhaps the goal was to be annoying. This screen provides a response to an answer. It requires yet another click and forces the student to skip over the answer they had selected to find the response. Again, the goal seems to be to make use of the lesson as difficult as possible. A graphic image contributes a lot to a presentation. Great. No mention here of how to produce the image, however. Apparently, the pages of a Moodle lesson are viewed one at a time. This may make sense for a student going through the lesson, but for a teacher preparing a lesson, an overview could be very useful. For example, consider the slide sorter view in presentation software. Relative and absolute jumps between pages are different in an important way, not mentioned here. If you move pages around, changing the sequence of the lesson, the absolute jumps still land in the correct place. Moodle lessons use branch tables to allow different learners to follow different paths through the content. This involves creating buttons to allow for the path selection. This serves the purpose, but separates the buttons from the rest of the content. Why not just use hyperlinked content instead of buttons? Finally, Moodle allows authoring lessons in a text file and importing the text file into the lesson module. Why? Presumably this is easier than authoring lessons directly within the lesson module interface. We consider now the various types of question formats. First is the icon format. It looks just like a multiple choice test with the letter of the correct answer supplied. This is very simple and may work well for testing, but not for teaching. A lesson should have some demonstration or presentation of knowledge followed by opportunities for the student to engage with or practice the new ideas before facing a test. The Blackboard question format is even more bureaucratic, with questions and answers stacked up in a spreadsheet. The clause-embedded answer format uses curly braces to mark out part of the question as containing the answer. I found this format just plain confusing. Hot potatoes is another quiz-style format. The complexity level must be very high because the tutorial begins by saying, quote, you will be required to work with code, XHTML, CSS and sometimes JavaScript, unquote. Finally, with the gift format, along with curly braces, tildes and hash marks, we find an option for providing feedback on answers. What a great idea! Instead of just testing to see whether the learner gets the right or wrong answer, we can teach about what is right or wrong about each answer. This is the learning moment. Why do we get so little encouragement to use this feature? And why is the response limited to just one phrase? In contrast, with Wiki-to-Speech you can author a lesson just as you would author a presentation, using your presentation software. The trick is to use the Speaker Notes feature to add a scripted voiceover to each slide. The Wiki-to-Speech utility pulls these speaker notes out of your presentation and gives you a text file for posting on a wiki page. The script also tells where to find each of the slide images on the web. If all you want is the presentation with voiceovers, you can share it via the web. But we looked at the other question formats before, hinting that Wiki-to-Speech offers something simpler and more effective. Well, here it is. In the script, The format uses a semicolon to separate an answer and the response to that answer. During interaction with the script, the questions and answers are displayed visually and the answers are clickable. When an answer is selected, the response is spoken. So the system can literally explain why an answer is right or wrong. Giving such immediate feedback is extraordinarily effective. Taking a script from a wiki page and turning it into an interactive question, answer, response interaction is the job of the Wiki-to-Speech software you can download for free from wiki-to-speech.org. The main Wiki-to-Speech application prompts for the location of a script on the web. You can paste in the address of the wiki page. This plays the presentation using the local text-to-speech engine. This gives the learner control over the voice and speech rate of the presentation. You can imagine how valuable this control can be, either in speeding up a long presentation or slowing down a difficult one. The gender and accent of the voice can also be changed. The free Wiki-to-Speech application, available from the Android market, will also play scripts on Android mobile devices. For example, here is this presentation as it appears on a Samsung Nexus S mobile phone. So, before we move on, here is a summary. We have 3 more reasons to use Wiki-to-Speech. First, you can author with familiar presentation software. Second, the presentations can play on the web or on mobile devices. Third, everything is free. You just need to invest some time finding or writing scripts. Next we will look at how to write an interactive script.